when you're applying makeup on camera, because of the light, sometimes it causes heat on your face and causes your makeup to separate or become too sweaty or be greasy. There is always a way to fix that. So hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're just seeing me, hi, my name is SINDYAKPOLO. Good to have you. You're most definitely welcome. Today, just like you clicked on the title and the thumbnail, today I'm gonna be showing you how to do your makeup, especially if you're gonna be on camera or if you're gonna be taking photos, or maybe you're going for photo shoot and you want to have your makeup flawless without causing any form of flashback. In this video, I'm gonna be showing you the makeup technique, or the right makeup technique to wear so you don't have any flashback on your face. This makeup can also be worn especially for people that are gonna be on set or on camera or on film production or for filmmaking, taking photos, and you don't want your makeup to have flashback or cause flashback. I'm gonna be showing you the right technique to applying your makeup. Before we start, I'm gonna prime my face, because one thing is for sure, you want to make sure to prime your face to have a solid base wear of your makeup. And guys, if you know by now, I don't skip primer, not for anything, because I am oily skin. So always make sure to use a primer that is suitable for your skin type or suitable for your skin. And if you're gonna be using a makeup artist, the makeup artist would know these things, and most likely the makeup artist is going to ask you your skin type in order for them to know the kind of primer base they would use before applying the makeup. And because I am oily skin, I'm gonna be using a mattifying primer. Now, the reason I'm using mattifying primer is because I am oily skin, so I want to make sure that my makeup lasts all day and it doesn't separate underneath my makeup. With this, you can use good mattifying primers that won't cause your makeup to separate or won't cake up or clog up your pores. So this is how my face is currently looking like after applying the primer. And I use this primer because many people would have a similar primer like this that are really mattifying or super mattifying and would not know how to go about with the makeup application. So I chose this one because this is super matte and this is really dry in on the skin, and sometimes it can separate or it can have this white cast on your face. So with this, now I'm going to show you how to walk around with this. So this is what my face is currently looking like after applying the primer. And when the primer is all dried, you want to make sure the primer sits on your skin and is all dried up before applying your makeup product or going over with another makeup product. And for this, I'm going to be using a foundation, and I specifically chose this foundation because one, this foundation is not my undertone, it is of the yellow undertone and it's really bright on my skin. So I'm using this one because a lot of times people would say maybe because us as beauty creators or beauty influencers were using foundation that is our exact skin tone, that's why our makeup looks flawless. But I'm here to tell you and to show you that even if you use a foundation that is not your exact undertone and your exact skin tone, you can still achieve a good makeup that won't give you or cause you flashback. And it all depends on your application and the technique, and I'm going to be showing you how to do that. And not everybody have that flawless skin. The essence of this makeup is to show you that everybody do not have that flawless skin, and yet even if you don't have that flawless skin, you can still achieve a flawless makeup. So depending on preference for foundation application, I'm going to use a foundation brush. Now it depends on preference. Again, if you prefer to use a beauty sponge is going to give you a more natural skin like blend, while a foundation brush is going to give you a more fuller coverage. Now depending on preference, you can decide to use or switch between both. And with this, you want to make sure you blend the foundation to your neck, especially if you're going to be wearing clothes that are going to be revealing, exposing your skin on your neck. So this is what I currently have. This is how my face is currently looking like with all of the application on my skin. And now I need to cover up the other areas of my face, especially where the foundation did not cover up. Now with this, you can also build up your foundation, but if you don't want to build a foundation, you can also use the leftover from your beauty sponge to blend everything, or the leftover from your brush to blend everything out together. As you can see on my face, you can see, I don't know if it's visible on camera, but my makeup on the apples of my cheek, especially where I have large pores, and my nose is already separating because the primer I used is super mattifying, very drying, and the foundation also is very mattifying and drying, thereby causing the makeup to separate underneath. Us as beauty influencers, we have the bad makeup days. Not every day is going to be a good makeup day, but with this I'm also going to show you how to fix that or how to correct that. Now you don't have to go over to clean the makeup or clean the entire makeup because you did not get your makeup base right, or because something flopped on your makeup and you feel like it is not gonna be a good day to wear your makeup. So now with this reason, or for this singular reason, I'm going to be showing you how to fix this on your makeup in the event where you have makeup like this, or where your makeup separates during the application. This is also part of the photo ready makeup or camera makeup, because sometimes when you apply makeup on camera, or sometimes you're applying makeup on camera, because of the light, sometimes it causes heat on your face and causes your makeup to separate or become too sweaty or be too greasy on your face, thereby causing patches on your face or causing patches on your makeup. And yes, it happens sometimes, especially when there is too much light around you when you're wearing your makeup. But not to worry, there is also gonna be a way, or there is always a way to fix that or to correct that. So in the event where this happens, the next thing you want to do is to wash the makeup or clean up the makeup, that part. Now I know that is what everybody will be thinking, including me, because sometimes when I have makeup like this, it's just it tends to ruin my day, and sometimes I just wash off my makeup and clothes for the day. But with this, we're gonna fix this, because when you're working on clients, especially for makeup artists, or when you're applying your makeup and you have this really nice photo shoot and you have this really nice outfit that you've planned, or you have this really nice set for film and you want to shoot for production, and the makeup ruins, you'll be like, everything is not going as planned. But yeah, sometimes things like this occur, and it's left for you to know how to fix it. And for this, I'm going to be using a concealer underneath my eye. So for this, I'm not going to be using any form of mattifying concealer, because I already used a mattifying foundation and a mattifying primer, thereby causing the makeup underneath to separate. But in the event where you are the person doing your makeup and you only have mattifying concealer, what do? Now in that event, you don't have to apply too much concealer for your under eye, because you don't want to clog up your pores and make your makeup or make your face look too heavy. I'm gonna use a mattifying concealer to show you how to correct that as well. I'm gonna be using a damp beauty sponge, blending from my forehead first. And for this, the concealer I used is really mattifying and full coverage at the same time. So I'm using this to show you, because others might have this concealer or have this type of concealer and they would want to use the exact same concealer. Maybe they have full coverage concealer and their foundation is already ruined and they still want to wear the makeup. So in order to fix that, is about the application and the technique you're using to blend your makeup. Now that everything is all blended into my skin, we don't have the makeup separating on my face or separating on my large pores anymore. But in the event where you still have that again, you can also go back with your beauty sponge to make sure to blend everything in together. So next, I'm also going to be going in with a cream blush, and I'm going to be applying the cream blush in the areas where I normally apply my blush, and I'm going to be skipping bronzer or contour, because that's not what I usually do or what I do all the time. But I'm going to be using a powder contour or powder bronzer to chisel or to add some shadow to my face or to add some warmth to my face. So again, with your blush, you want to also avoid the areas where you have large pores. Only concentrate it in the areas where you don't have large pores, so it doesn't enhance your large pores. For your blush, you don't want to leave it like this. You have to blend it, and I'm also going to be going over with my foundation brush to blend it out. So let's say you love to use two concealers and you want to have that really brightened under eye look. Doesn't mean you're not going to use the concealer. Of course you're going to use it. It also depends on how you blend it. And all of the products used in this video are all drugstores, so you don't say, baby, because everything used is high-end, that's why the makeup came out flawless. With drugstore products, you can still achieve a good flawless makeup. Guys, you can apply the concealer underneath my eye, and using the same beauty sponge I used to blend the previous concealer to blend my under eye again. and this time I'm just concentrating only in my inner corners and not bringing the concealer all the way towards my cheekbone or spreading the concealer, because I only want a certain area of my face to look brightened, and you don't want your entire under eye to be bright, because that is also going to cause flashback when taking photos. So have that in mind. Now on to the main part of the video. Now, to set your under eye, you want to make sure you use a certain powder that is close or similar shades to the concealer you use to blend your under eye. You don't want to use a translucent powder, because translucent powder, they are most likely going to cause flashback because it's giving you a really brightened under eye. You want to make sure that you don't use a translucent powder. You want to make sure to use a banana shade powder or a powder that is similar to the concealer you use to blend your under eye, so it doesn't cause any form of flashback or whatsoever. And when using your setting powder, you want to make sure to tap off the excess at the back of your hand. Very important, tap off the excess at the back of your hand so you don't apply excess product on your under eye area. So with tapping off the excess, you don't use a lot of powder to set your under eye area. This is what we're currently looking like, and you don't want to leave your makeup like this. You want to make sure to blend everything in together to take off the harsh lines or whatsoever. You don't want no harsh lines underneath your makeup. And for this, you need an all over face powder, and I'm gonna be going with my all over face powder, and I'm using a powder palette. Now, an all over face powder can be your regular shade powder or the powder that is your exact skin tone and undertone that matches your skin tone. So in this palette, I have powders that match my undertone and my skin tone, so I'm gonna be mixing 2 or 3 shades together so it doesn't look too much. I'm gonna use a contour shade from the same powder palette just to contour my face, is to add some dimension on my face. Right, so in the event where you want to bake your under eye, maybe you want to do your eyeshadow or something, or you just love the brightened under eye or the really brightened under eye, what do? Now, I said do not use translucent powder, and the reason I said not to use a translucent powder to set your under eye is because sometimes when you take photos, the flashlight or the flash picks your entire makeup, thereby causing your under eye to have that white cast underneath your eye, and you don't want that. But let's say you usually use translucent powder, or you have a translucent powder and that is all you have to bake your under eye, what do? Do you not use it? Okay, for the event where you have translucent powder and that is all you have, I'm gonna show you a simple way on how to bake your under eye that is also not gonna cause flashback on your under eye as well. This powder is a translucent powder. Everybody knows about this powder, and I've been using this powder for years, especially if you're oily skin. This powder, the OGs know about this powder. I love it, and I'm gonna be using this to bake my under eye. So I'm just pressing a good amount of the powder underneath my eye. I'm not using a lot. Right, so now this is what we're currently looking like, and to dust off the excess powder underneath my eye, I'm gonna go over with the exact same powder palette that I use on my face, and this one is close to my skin tone or my exact skin tone match, and I'm going to use that to dust off the excess powder product underneath my eye. And I'm just going to push the powder into the skin, lightly pushing it into the skin, so that way it blends into my skin for my under eye area, and you don't see much of a difference, or you don't get that flashback. This is what we're currently looking like, and I love the way the under eye is looking. So if you do all of this step, you won't have that much highlighted under eye that would give you white cast, but you have a seamless under eye that won't give you flashback or whatsoever. And next, I'm going to spray my face using a setting spray to take off the powdery feel. Moving on to another step, and this one I see a lot of mistakes with this. So the next is applying highlighter. So when you want to apply your highlighter, you want to make sure that the highlighter you're using is you want to make sure that you use a highlighter that blends well into your skin tone, that will not cause flashback or whatsoever. And for this, I'm going to be using an highlighter that is close or similar to my skin shade. It's still going to give me that highlighted glow, but it's not going to look too highlighted on my skin, thereby causing or giving me flashback or whatsoever. Alright, so this is what we're currently looking like with the entire makeup all done, and as you can see for my under eye area, it will have the brightened under eye look, but this under eye look or this look will not give me any form of flashback or whatsoever. And even when you look at my skin, you can notice that the foundation we used, even though the foundation is not my undertone and not my skin tone, but it's all blended to my skin, and you don't see it to cause or give any flashback. Again, everything is all blended into my skin, and it looks seamless on my skin at the same time. And you want to make sure you follow through this technique to achieve a flawless makeup that won't cause any form of separation underneath your makeup and won't give you flashback when you take your photos. And even if you are on set in front of camera with so much light, but if you follow through this technique, your makeup is not going to separate, it's going to stay intact regardless. You won't have that flashback underneath your eye and on your makeup, that so people don't see the lines where you applied makeup and your skin, because sometimes when people wear makeup, there is a line on their neck on and all, or the jawline, so you see the demarcation or the line between their skin and the makeup. But if you follow through this technique and blend everything all through together, you won't have any form of harsh lines, flashback, or your makeup won't separate underneath. And I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did create it. I try to go in depth explaining through the steps to make sure that you understand what I'm saying and understand what the makeup technique is. Something else I forgot to put is this makeup is done using natural light, so there is no form of artificial light or whatsoever. Everything all done in this tutorial is with the use of natural light. So this is what the makeup is looking with natural light, no artificial light whatsoever. And even if you lit the light, or even when you lit light, the reason I used a natural light is because this is what people would see, and this makeup you're seeing right here is with no filter whatsoever or preset whatsoever, and this is what many people would see. With this, you can go on ahead to take your photos with flash and whatever. You're not going to get any form of flashback or whatsoever. And make sure that when you're applying your makeup, you apply a generous amount. You don't apply too much product to cake up your face. And I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did create. If you did, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Also, let me know other areas you're having troubles with, and hit the subscribe button if you're not yet subscribed to my channel. Also, check out my other videos for other product recommendation, and in case you're still having other troubles, I have other videos I would recommend you check. Also, check out my other videos for makeup for beginners and tackling with large pores and oily skin. And stay connected.